Hello and welcome to the Knock On KCLR and Scoreline.ie's weekly rugby podcast with a bit of grunting and groaning from the lads this evening. Johnny
Tom's
Tobin
Wi-Fi
and
is
Tom
working.
Crotty, and Tom's Wi-Fi is working, third time lucky. We'll be joined by James Blanchfield hopefully as well this week. James
About
been
time.
busy the last couple of weeks, yeah, about time. So we can get on to him about that last minute win over Monkstown at the weekend in the league, badly needed as well. We'll talk about all that. We'll talk about the Towns Cup this weekend, but we're going to have a look back at the league games from last weekend, starting with you, Johnny, today. Tullow, a good win over Longford, continuing on that rich vein of form and, looking nice coming into the Towns Cup against Boyne this weekend.
Yeah, good win. Bonus point win again, which is really, really good, really, really positive. I was just talking to Morris actually about this morning. We have 10 bonus points from 12 games. So that's showing evident down where we're sitting in the league, but it's good. Shaky start in Longford as to be expected. Longford were quite good in the early stages of the game. I suppose what they had to offer off the bench was just a little less than what we had. We're in a good position at the moment. We're a very, very strong squad. So the lads coming on offering nearly the same as what the lads going off have given you for the first 40 or 60. But it was good, really good performance by some lads. Martin Cole had a really good performance. Conor Duffy was good, albeit he's 10 minutes in the bin. He was quite good other than that. Gareth Fitzgerald was very good when he came in. Paul Canavan is back to form. We're missing Jamie Cooper there, and Paul Canavan started back in at 10. And he was on good form. His boot alone is a saving grace here at times. But yeah, looking good to this weekend against Boyne. I think Boyne a bit of chip on their shoulder. They're coming down. They haven't won a game in a while, so they'll be looking to change that too and come to Tullow and get a win in the cup. But it's look at it. It's like we're always saying, league performances mean nothing in cup. So we could come this weekend and Boyne could give it to us first physical, or they could give it to us out wide. We don't know what we're expecting. We haven't seen or heard much about them all year, so it'll be good. It'll be an exciting affair out in the Black Gates. And we're looking forward to it now.
Yeah, and Johnny, you've been saying there have been great crowds turning up at the home matches over the last while, and long may that continue.
Yeah, there's a lot of home games for the last couple of weeks. We've started this new thing, split the pot. Little fundraiser there in the club, and it's been going really well. 2 players have actually won the first 2 split the pots, so it's great. But it's a really good atmosphere out there on a Sunday now as well. And it'll be a really good crack this weekend because women are playing Blackrock before the men in the cup, so there'll be 2 good games out there, and the women always bring a good crowd as well. So hopefully their crowd stay along and watch the cup game afterwards.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Johnny, any youths news this week?
Very little. Our 18s went to Wexford and they had a couple of technical issues and a couple of player issues, and they forgot their jerseys and everything else in the middle of it all. But Wexford gave them probably an exhibition in rugby, to be fair. Wexford 18s are quite good. They lost 50-26 down in Wexford in that Tom Darcy Cup. But yeah, look, we're plugging away there with the youth at the minute. The big thing, I suppose, was in youth level last night. We hosted the Sarah Robinson Cup final between the North Midlands and the South East, and we had 4 Tullow girls in the squad, 2 in the match day and 2 in the extended. Katie Corrigan, Emily Corrigan, Ciara Byrne, and Ruby Collier, which is very, very good. And Katie obviously getting on the scoreboard again, which she does nearly every match now. But yeah, she's just plugging away there. It was a good atmosphere out there last night. Really good crowd out there as well. And a really, really good game of rugby. It was one of the best games of rugby I've seen in a long time. And that's not saying from an 18s girls perspective. It was one of the best games of rugby that I've seen in a long, long time. Some really good players on that Southeast team. Emer Sweetnam here from Kilkenny College, all the way from Enniscorthy/Gorey or Wexford. I don't know what's that malleation, Tom, in them 3 clubs? She's a Gorey woman, I know, but does she play with
Southeast Lines? No,
yeah.
Southeast Lines. That's Wexford and Enniscorthy.
Yeah. So some really good talented players there. It was great to see some heads of rugby were down there. Phil Lawler was there. Owen Sheriff and a few others notable there to be down watching, and it was good for the girls. The Irish coach actually was down as well. 18's Irish coach was down, so it was really good for them. And hopefully they get their rewards for their hard work, and the Southeast girls did last night. So it was great.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff, Johnny. Things going well in Tullow at the moment, and good old feeling in the club at the moment. Tom, last weekend you went up to Dundalk. you knew it was going to be tough going back up twice after what the Towns Cup game beforehand. Very, very, very narrow loss.
Yeah. It was, look, we knew that we're going to be up against it because, as I said last week, that like Dundalk, I know they gave it their all, fair enough, in the Towns Cup, but on the back of it, then the league was so important to them because they're looking for a relegation spot. We knew they'd come at us, but look, we started off well. We got up a good score, and then we lost Dave McDermott in the centre to a hamstring, and then we lost our tight head prop, and then we started to really struggle. Just in scrum time, silly decisions we make. Defending mauls on the line, we made a couple of mistakes. Look, I would say a lot of it is it's very hard to go up a second time to the same club and try and get the same buzz out of it and try and put the same effort in. But when you lose two more players, we're down too many players at the moment. It's just absolutely ridiculous. That's not an excuse. You don't give an excuse, but our panel is strong. Like it's a good panel that we have, but it's just a couple of key positions. Like when you're missing tight head props, it just became a bridge too far. Just tiredness. Actually, the team looked tired. Second half towards the end, just errors. I think it was more. They took their opportunities at the end, and we just made a couple of penalty areas. So we had very little penalties in the first half, and I think we gave away 10 penalties in the second half, and that's not acceptable. That's basically where it was won and lost. But like at Dundalk are a fair team, I have to say. They moved their number 8 out to the centre to 12, and he had a cracking game at 12. He didn't, he just looked like he'd been playing there all season. Look, in fairness to them, hats off to Dundalk. They really stuck to us. They're a good side. I know their position in the league at times didn't say it, but like they're trying to get their mojo back. Because they've come down out of 1A and they come down senior down to 1A and now joining us down in 1B. It's so important for them to stop the rot that they don't drop down. Look, they're a good side, very good pack, and have to compliments to the club too because they looked after us very well with food and everything. And but look, that's it, done and dusted. I said it after the match to the lads. You just have to put this behind you. Really do. We've New Ross now at home on Sunday, and I think Towns Cup is Towns Cup. We have hope. Look, we know we'll get a crowd for this one. Home crowd. We haven't had a bit of crack in the barn while. Just because I think just pressure on and results not going our way and just kind of stress from lads playing out of position and forwards just things when things don't go the way you have a plan. It's hard on the players. And I think this weekend is a time to reset. And I think the whole idea of this weekend is to go out and enjoy the game, to actually enjoy playing rugby. And they need to do that. And I know the lads do. They need to just get back on the saddle, but just play to their strengths. Play simple rugby. Play to their strengths. Use what we have on the pitch. Like, the players are injured. They're not coming back. We've only got so many. We're picking from a panel, and every player there is worth its salt. And then we've still had great numbers in training. And in fairness to the lads, they're still coming up and they're still there. They just look a bit tired, but this is like a refresh for them. We get out there, play our own game, and just maybe simplify our game a bit. And get back to basics. But the main thing this weekend is to enjoy it. Actually, basically enjoy the game. Like I have to say, sorry, I forgot all about the seconds. Can't forget them. They went up to Dundalk, and unlike the first, they had a week off last week, so they were like young guns out there. They had a very, very good win. A very, very good win. they're still in it with the tie. Like they know we're waiting for the tie have to lose a game, but that was our own fault. But the fact that they're still fighting and still want to be there right to the end and push the tie all the way, and see if they slip up. If they slip up, the lads are really on fire and really, really want it. So I have to say hats off to all the lads, all the seconds who travelled up to Dundalk. Then it's a long old journey to come on a Sunday, and for those especially who came and helped and subbed for the first after. But look, Towns Cup weekend, you can't ask for more home games. Look, it's brilliant. Just want to get the beer flowing in the club and a bit of atmosphere and get lads up, old heads. So big call out to everyone to come to the club and enjoy it. Last again, reasonable for the youths. The 18s lost in the Scoreline in the cup. They were leading by a big score, and then they kind of faded. I don't know what happened. They fell apart in the second half and lost out in the Scoreline. But seemingly they played some very, very good rugby in the first half, but just kind of took the foot off the pedal in the second half, and the Scoreline turned it around. The 16s had a really, really good game against a massive Boyne side. I don't know what the hell they feed them up in Boyne in Dundalk, but those lads up there are on a different planet as far as size-wise. They're huge. But the 16s had a really, really good win against them. 15s very narrow loss up in Boyne. 14s had a really, really good win, and 13s had no friendly against Ross in the side. They were having great crack up in the top pitch on Saturday. The under 16 girls, the Rhinos, ourselves and Tullow, they're on a roll still. The last 4 games unbeaten now. They had a very, very big win over Ashbourne Balbriggan, and they're away now to they're top of the table and on their section. We're top of the table in our league, and they're off to Wicklow on Saturday. So it'll be a tough game up there, but hopefully we can get a win up there. We're guaranteed a home semi-final in the league. 14, the Rhinos are there. I can't remember the score, so sorry guys for the parents whatever listening. I can't remember the scores of the weekend, but all I know is the amount of girls that are training is unbelievable. They've nearly 30 kids, I think. There's 26 or something kids training, girls training at 14s between the two clubs, and they're just having the crack. You can watch them on a Monday night or a Wednesday when they're over in Carlow, and they're just having a ball. So look, hats off to them. They're a fantastic group. And that's it from the Carlow half now.
Yeah, that's it, Tom.
Looking forward to just having a good weekend, please God, and let everyone enjoy it and the match and the whole lot.
You've a bit of a deal going on for people who want to come down and watch the Towns Cup. I think there's something you're promoting on the side.
Yeah, it was the pre-match dinner. The pre-match lunch was out there for. It's just we always run them at home for the matches for the Towns Cup games. It's just a tradition, and lads. I tell you what, a lot of lads kind of arrive, kind of older crowd, and lads who haven't seen each other in a long time meet up and have a few pints beforehand and come out rowdy then at 3 o'clock from the blinded by the blinded by the sunlight and out to the light at 3 o'clock and get rowdy.
I call it an Alakadoo outing, Tom. They're a great joke though.
Oh, 100%, absolutely.
They're a great joke.
Put it this way. I wish I was in there sitting down with them and not stressing out on the sideline.
Well, I've been at the last few in Tullow now. It's great crack.
Yeah, I know. I had it last year. Just enjoyed every minute of it. So yeah, can't wait now for the weekend.
Yeah, that's safe in the league now, Tom.
Probably technically yes. But
mathematically, you can't be caught, surely. Like
we can go into a playoff. Mathematically, but look, there's a lot of there's 2 games to come home. We've Kildare at home and we have Wicklow away. 2 tough games.
You could all be riding on that Wicklow away game now, Tom, at the end of the year.
Well, you won't be riding on that one. You'll be all right.
Well, we'll
be saying goodbye to you. We'll be saying goodbye to you after next weekend. So.
I don't know about that, Tom. I don't know.
Well, I told you,
As the
Johnny,
wise man once said,
two games, and I'm telling you, neither of those teams will. They might put it
yeah,
up to you, but I don't think they get by
leagues
you.
weren't won in September, but they were lost in fucking March. I can
Will
tell you
you?
that.
Well, I tell you, look. In fairness, we probably peaked early, and just we you peak at the wrong time. We started playing really well at the start of the season, and
Yeah.
then things just changed. Like as I was saying, like I've never actually, to be honest, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but you wouldn't believe the amount of silly injuries that are just injuries from players missing 1 week or missing a week or 2 weeks. Like just I've never come across it. Don't know what happened. You're peaking lovely. You're just peaking at the right time of the season, and that's the difference between there's a certain amount of luck, but you're playing good rugby and you're working your way along. And if you're peaking at the right time of the season, that's fair dues to you.
I tell you what I find with the lads, Tom. I find that they just don't know when to stop. Like, there's results coming in. I'm in a WhatsApp. I was saying before, I'm in a WhatsApp group with a couple of older chaps in the club that you can't make games. You go in, you see, and Robin Johnson and Johnny Fisher are very good at putting in the scores and stuff. And there's results coming in, and they're going, "Oh God, we're 10 points down." All of a sudden, we're 3 points ahead. Then all of a sudden, we're 10 points down again, and you're like going, "Jesus Christ!" Then the last full time, Tullow win by 5 or Tullow win by 2. They just keep plugging away right to the very end. They don't go away. And it's credit to them, and Sean's having a big impact there. But like Morris, Sean, and Ivan are doing an incredible job, and Sprocket as well with that team. Like they're doing an incredible job managing it, and then they've great people around them as well with Danny and Carmel on the S&C and the physio, and they're managing lads really, really well. And we're in a position that if we lose the lad now, we have a lad equally as good, and maybe if not better, on the bench or on the subs or reserves that can slot in. So look, we're getting the rub of the green at the moment because it comes in swings and roundabouts. It hasn't been that way since 2019 for us, but 2 big games though, Tom. I don't like. I wouldn't sit here and say we're overly confident that we're going to win. Like we've played Dundalk at home, and they're like you just played them. They're very, very resilient too. And then we've Kildare away at the last game of the year, and they're not going to want to step away from that easy either. Like so, they're also in a playoff battle. Like they're 2 teams that have it all to play for. If they lose the 2 games to us, they could be down in playoffs or like so. They're not going to want to lose either. Do you know?
Yeah. Well, it's actually look. I mean, we have to say our league is. I know people say it's what league do you play? Junior 1B. But I tell you, some of the rugby that's played by some teams in the 1B this year has been absolutely incredible. And compliments too. Like you can't say because we played them all and I've watched them play and we watched videos of them. Like yourselves, Atai, Kildare have pulled off wins. You know, they've found a way of winning. You know, they might necessarily have the best team, but they found a way to win, which is hugely important. But there's been some fun. Oh, hey, look!
It's Casper the Friendly Goat.
To those listening and not watching on YouTube, James Blanchfield has just joined the conversation.
Things have just got spicy.
Long time no see, James.
How are you,
back,
James?
lads. I'm back. I'm back. I won't get into the nuances, but I'm back.
Yeah, we're just talking about the standard of rugby in Division 1B this year, James. It's you know, Division 1A of course is good as well, but Division 1B there's been a step up this year. The lads feel rugby's getting better, and credit to the coaches and everything.
Yeah, well, in fairness, I went up to watch Carlow versus Tom Tullow in Blackgates there a few weeks ago, and I have to say I was. For 1B, I was really, really blown away by it. I thought the quality and standard of it was really good. It was a very, very entertaining game of rugby, even though Carlow came out on the wrong side of the result. Their performance was still quite good. They gave as good as they got. Just Tullow took their opportunities when they got into the try scoring positions. But even you look at what Atai are doing. Who would have said at the beginning of the season, and I'm guilty of it, I've not given Atai a hope. By God, they've proved us all wrong this year, lads. You know, and in fairness to them, you have to hand them what they've done. It's a competitive league. Everyone thought Wicklow were going to blow everyone out of the water this year, which I did because of the quality they have. But slowly but surely, everyone's just chipping away at them. Like, there's great teams across the division. And recently, myself and a few of my mates were chatting about the quality just of Leinster junior rugby in comparison to Munster junior rugby. Like, we're years ahead of them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's some great traditional teams down in Munster, the likes of Kilfeacle, Clanwilliam, Newcastle West, all these guys who aren't coping with the Leinster teams in the junior cups. You know, I think it's just for whichever Leinster team gets out of the Leinster 1A is going to hold their own in AIL rugby. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I just saying that the amount of teams that are improving and really putting the effort in, even like Wexford getting a great result there in the Towns Cup, and I have to say it's everything about the clubs. It's their social media, like some of the social media from some of the clubs, like Wexford, one in particular, has been amazing and
quite funny, isn't it? Some stuff to his class.
But that's what's making Leinster Junior Rugby what it is. And and we were going to float or blow, but everyone said blow a wrong whistle here. But I think the Southeast Rugby is some of the best rugby being played in the province. So
you can look at it absolutely is. Absolutely.
Yeah,
look at 1A, you have a
Southeast
Southeast team up the top of it.
Yeah.
1B, it's all Southeast teams, 3 Southeast teams in the top 4. You have New Ross going reasonably well. You have Wexford having a reasonably good season, you know. I mean,
it's great stuff.
You know, but that doesn't happen by chance, Tom. There's a lot of good work being done by a lot of good people in good clubs around the Southeast. And Debbie as well has done an awful lot of work for the Southeast clubs. Decky O'Brien and all these people. Even like both of you're involved in competitions and coordinating competitions, and Johnny's involved with coaching Southeast teams. Look at every region works very, very hard, but it's easy for us on our ivory tower in the Southeast to look in, but by God, there's some amount of work being done at it.
Absolutely. James, we're going to check in with yourself about the league last weekend and the Towns Cup, but before Johnny steps out of the podcast, just want a quick update on S.E.T.U.
Yeah, going well. 2 semi-finals next Wednesday. Division 2 semi-final away to UCC. They're the host of the finals this year, so it'll be nice to knock them out and get a bit of a pip there. And then our Division 1 team then play Garda College in a semi-final on Wednesday. Time still to be confirmed, but it's at home Wednesday in the college on the main campus. So hopefully it's an evening kick-off and we can get a bit of a crowd up. And then our women play in hopefully their semi-final, depending on the result next week. They'll have a home semi-final on March 8th, and which could get them to Cork for the finals as well. So going quite well, but it's been really positive. A lot of good stuff going out there, and like I'm blessed in my role in S.E.T.U. is because a lot of good coaches in the clubs are getting a lot of time with these players, and then I just have to kind of put them in the best position that suits us. Makes my job an awful lot easier. But
it was the most enjoyable rugby I ever played was the colleges rugby, the third level rugby at LIT.
It's great crack.
It's just there's friends you make out of it. You always remember it, and like I was lucky to win 2 of those competitions at LIT back in 2004 and 2005 or 6 or something like that.
Apologies for beating them a few weeks ago. Sorry.
Well, look at my loyalties are there long gone. I'm nearly over there 20 years now, but you know, we beat a star-studded CIT team with Munster contracted players left, right, and centre. Yeah. Timmy Ryan, Dave Ryan, Jeremy Manning, Jeff Hitchmore, and all these guys. I was texting the other week about it. You get a great quality of rugby player once the senior clubs let their players play colleges rugby. It's a brilliant.
Yeah, well, standard. That's a big problem at the minute. There's actually been 2 walkovers today or yesterday in quarterfinals. One from LIT and one from Athlone. Players not being released to play college rugby, so it's a pity. But
we would have done it 3 in a row in 2006. Athlone IT, Willie Canavan, I think, was out halfway and beat us in the final in Thomond Park.
In 06, yeah, he would have been, yeah.
We got to the final. We had a gang of Shannon lads playing for the team, and the Shannon under-20s coach pulled the 6 Shannon guys from the team who were beaten in the final.
Well, it wouldn't be a far away from where you're naming now that's doing the same thing at the minute, so wouldn't be a whole far miles away from them.
You
But
know,
sure,
now
look,
in
it is what it
fairness to
is.
Shannon, they actually won the All-Ireland under-20s that year, and those 6 guys were central to that under-20s team, you know.
I'm just blessed it doesn't affect me. So Tom and Corey Carty, don't pull any Carlow lads off me, will you? You're already after breaking up Sam Dunn. I need Sam Cullen and Sean Quinlan for 2 more weeks.
Best of luck with it, Johnny.
Sam will be back.
Well, we won't back next week though, will he?
I should be, yeah.
Well, that's grand. Thanks, Tom.
Stuff.
You can thank our
Lads,
physio.
I got to shoot.
Yeah, Johnny's
Lads,
off to do
you're
rugby.
very lucky I have to go. I was planning on roasting you, but sure, I'll get you next week.
What's up, Johnny? Thanks
Adios,
a million
amigos.
for
No
your
comments.
company.
No
Good luck
comments.
this weekend.
No comment.
Good luck against Boyne this weekend for Johnny. James, catch up with yourself. Bit of deja vu last weekend against Monkstown. This time last season, we were doing last minute drop goals and all, or penalties and drop goals,
Yeah.
and God knows what's going on.
Yeah, well, look,
You got over Monkstown, and that's important.
massively important. I had a dose of man flu, so I couldn't get up. I was stuck to the couch all day. I was on Stevie Ashbourne's
Solidarity.
stag the previous weekend, and we were overseas, and we had a great weekend over there. But most of us came back with a dose of man flu after it, so stuck to the couch. But have to be honest, I watched the video on Monday night, and the lads started well, really well. Monkstown, as Monkstown do, just ran into a 14-0 lead, and I was following it on Twitter, and I said, Jesus, here we go again, But then I was following on Twitter, and suddenly it was 14-17, and then suddenly we went, up at the break, and we were leading at the break, and I was going, Jesus Christ, this is going great. And Monkstown again just took off again and got a good lead. But on the video, the lads just didn't stop it. There were some fantastic tries in it. Our second try and our try to put the point in it, Podgeman went over in the corner. The ball retention throughout the game was really good, but I think we might have gone through 9-10 phases on that try. Everyone performed really well. Rory McInerney at scrum half had a good game. The second rows did well. We have Wes Carter back in there now, and look, at Wes is worth a few points every game just by the little things that he does. The back row was very good. We lost Joe Manuel in the warm up. Young Ned Devlin had to come in off the seconds in his first ever flavour of J1 rugby, and he'd come in on the wing, and in fairness to him, he did a really good job. 1 or 2 little bits and pieces which you would expect, just caught in the fence for one try where he bit in. But look, you wouldn't expect anything else of a chap who's coming in for his first game. A lad who maybe had 50 or 60 first games under his belt might have done the same thing. But then we got to the final play of the game. 8 or 9 phases, through the hands, Podge over in the corner, got injured scoring the try, had to hobble off the pitch, left a point in it. Mr. Corkery, who had an off day on the boot the last day in Kilkenny against Gorey, stepped up. Now I have to say, before he clipped over that penalty, before he clipped over that conversion, I have to say he scored 3 from the touchline before that. One of them, the ball fell off the tee apparently, and he picked it up and drop kicked it over the line. Over the bar. So, he was just on form. You've seen the videos of it. He hit it just a peach over the bar, and the rest is history. So look, we've from the jaws of defeat, we've come away with a bonus point win, our first bonus point win on the road in a long time. So, if you go back to this time last year, it's a carbon copy. A win like that can galvanise a team.
Mm-hmm.
But the seconds had a good win as well. So we're up a place in the league. The destiny is in our own hands now. We have 2 games left, and we have to win one of them and get something from another. And I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility for the lads to try and do that. So, and then I suppose it's get the league. The league is out of the way. The league is parked for now. We have Ashbourne coming down on Sunday, and it's Towns Cup. League form goes out the window. They're having a similar season to us, and we beat them at home, they beat us away. Same last season, we beat them in the cup final last year. There's a fair old ding-dong going on between ourselves and themselves over the last couple of years. So Sunday's game can go any direction.
Yep, absolutely. Your women are in action this weekend as well, James, against Navan.
Big game, very, very, very big game for the women. So that's kicking off at 12:30 on the main pitch in the club, and then the Ashbourne match is on straight after that. women have had they ran away at the beginning of the season. I think they went 6 or 7 unbeaten, and then now they've gone kind of 3 out of 5 where they've lost. There's reasons for that. They've lost a couple of players, and a couple of their speedsters have been out. And I know one or two other players. Mags Irish is injured. I think she's a bad knee. Emer, as we all know, is gone overseas with the Defence Forces. Lucy Hart has been unavailable for the last few weeks. So that's a little bit of speed gone out of them. But I think they might have a little bit more strength and depth this coming week. So I think, if I'm right in doing the numbers, that a win this weekend will kind of put them in a league winning position. Meaning, like, this is their penultimate game in the league, if I'm right. They might have one left against Garda away, but I think a win this weekend will really put them in the driving seat. So we're looking for a big crowd to come out to the club on Sunday to support the women and then stick around to support the men. Bar will be open, coffee and all that kind of jazz will be available. So the under 13s or under 14s are running a barbecue with their parents. So yeah, look at it, to get the girls. Look, we're all rooting for them to get a result on Sunday. They had Byrne. The last day I saw them was against Byrne Hall and Kilkenny, and you know they lost by a score. They got their bonus point, but they had so many opportunities to win it. Just maybe a little bit more passing rather than kind of running across the pitch, which is an issue at all level of rugby anyway. So look, they'll fingers crossed. I really hope they win, because the unfortunate thing for the women this year is that there's been a lot of walkovers and teams haven't come down as well to play them. Maybe if they go up a division, they'll get games every week. They might end up being a mid-table team next year if they go up the division into Division 3. But they're playing against a stronger caliber of opposition every week, and they're developing better, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important. And I think, wasn't the Southeast Lions beat them then the following week, last week?
There were 2 weeks ago, I think.
Southeast, and the combo between Enniscorthy and Wexford Wanderers.
Yeah, it was the Lions, yeah. Interesting.
So that's the crack. Look,
Crack.
it's all go at the moment. Luckily, it looks like players are coming. Some players are coming back from injury for the first, and other players are going out from injury in the first. But we can just see how it goes on Sunday. It's not going to be easy against Ashbourne under no circumstances.
No, that'll be a tough one, James. All right.
Yeah, you know, really, like yourselves, Tom, in the Towns Cup, you never really want to take. You know, you never want to try and get someone from your same division in your first outing. It's probably the tie it around really is Kilkenny versus Ashbourne. You know, one of last year's finalists are going to be out this Sunday. You know, are going to be eliminated from the tournament.
Well, it's the same with us. I mean, I know, like you were saying, looking forward to. I never actually sent around to me about your roster. Decent enough little side, you know, and very, very good pack, good 10. You know, so like they're players and they're coming up. They've nothing to lose, you know.
No.
They're coming to Carlow, so we have to be wary, because these sides are good sides, you know, and we don't want to, like Wexford had to win. Was it Kildare or someone? They can't remember who they beat, or Mullingar, was it? They beat.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, so you never know. As you say, like, these are good. These are potentially all good teams coming through.
You have to look at New Ross. New Ross had a Leinster Junior second row, Jim Ryan. They're putting Dempsey, who was our loose head. He won a Towns Cup last year. Yeah. You know, they have an absolute tank of a number 8, your man James Ryan. He's actually a Tullow man. You know, and then they have a coach that would put his, if they were out of line, he'd mark the pitch with his own blood in Derek Furness. You know, he'd live and die for the club. You know,
but that's it. Buddha's there. Like, I mean, they're not going to play. It won't be very technical rugby they play, but they play their own brand. They play what they're good at, and they play it well. Yeah. We know that. Our pack are going to be up against it on Sunday.
Yeah,
we know, like, and the lads know that, but there's no excuse. Like, they know they have to stand up and play. Like,
that's the beauty of the Towns Cup. Like, and I always maintain with the Towns Cup, Leinster League form is one thing, but this is provincial. Like, your Dublin sides aren't involved in the Towns Cup, and I'm not saying there's a problem with Dublin sides, but they have a big pick that the provincial clubs don't have. You know, I think the Towns Cup is the real barometer of where the
Yeah.
whole thing is at. You know, because anyone can beat anyone on any day.
Well, you hope that people will put the effort in, but see, I know that like it's going to be tough for the likes of even Ashbourne, but Boyne as well, like playing Tullow. Like Boyne have to try and stay up in that division, and you'd hate to see teams not giving it their 100% just because of the league, you know, what their positions in the league.
Absolutely.
Because I know you will, no matter what position you get in the league, like Kenny, you go for it.
Ah, well, the lads have to go for it. Like,
that's a tradition there, you know.
but we have nothing. We don't have honours in the league to play for. You know, we have survival to play for, and it was survival last year that galvanised us to do what we did in the cup last year. You know, I mean,
that game against Wicklow turned our season.
And I'm hoping last week's game against Monkstown can turn our season. You know.
Yeah. Brilliant win.
Best of luck this weekend, lads. And Tullow, of course, Johnny Tobin was with us earlier. It's all Towns Cup. All the teams are at home. Carlow at home to Ross, Kilkenny at home to Ashbourne, Tullow at home to Boyne. And the Tullow ladies are in action against Blackrock College on Sunday before the Towns Cup match. And the same for Kilkenny against Navan ladies ahead of Kilkenny's match against Ashbourne. Busy week in the club, so busy weekend. Enjoy it, lads. And we'll catch up with you next weekend. Fingers crossed, 3 wins.
Thanks, lads. Have a good best of luck to everyone. Bye-bye.
See you now.